Hi, everybody. It's Diana. Welcome to Heartfelt Creative. It's Monday. It's Patches and Pieces time. Normally, at this time, I go live in Facebook for Patches and Pieces. You know that, but it's not live today. It's a recording because for some reason, the software I use to go live into Facebook will not let me go live on the group page. It will only let me go live on my personal page. There's something going on there. I'm sure but something has changed in an update or something like that. And I don't know about that. I've not read anything about it. So I'm gonna have to contact the company and find out what's going on, because I have to be able to go live in Facebook. And the reason I go live in Facebook through this software is because I record it for YouTube, and I can't do that if I'm just on Facebook. So sorry about that, folks. I do apologize, but I'm going to show you the block today. Now, a lot of you know that I'm on the mend for a double tear in my rotator cuff. I'm not supposed to do a lot of sewing, so I'm going to do the instruction type piecing for you again today. This block is so simple today, you'll figure that out pretty easy. I just wanted to share a couple things before we get started on that. Yesterday was our second monthly Let's Get Social. Once a month on a Sunday, I do a Let's Get Social, and we either talk about a specific sewing or quilting topic, or I do a little project. So last month in March, which was our first month, we did stabilizers and interfacings, which seemed to be pretty interesting. And then this month in April, we did this little multi-purpose, multi-use pedal bag. You can get this pattern at my website. It's a free download, heartfeltcreativewithdiana.com, and that's all you'll be printing out, okay? There's no additional information. That's all you print out. And I put the information about what this crazy looking template is in the template itself, along with it on the page, because I hate to get patterns with templates, and once I cut them out and cut them away from the main page, I don't know what it's for anymore. If I haven't kept it all together, and I forget what it's for. So I try to remember to put that information in the pattern for you in the template itself. And this is what we made yesterday. Isn't it cute, little pedal bag? Kind of looks like carrots to me today. Yesterday, it looked like Christmas lights and birthday candles, and today these look like little carrot tops to me. Maybe it's the fabric, but it's super simple. It's good beginner project, good to make up and have around for small gifts. I thought it would be nice to, like, because of spring and planting, to put some seeds in here with some instructions and give it to a gardening friend. You could always put sweets in here. You could fill it with potpourri and set them around the house to make the house smell good. You guys, though, I know you have, you'll come up with a million ideas to use that little bag for. So that free pattern download is on my website. And in the pattern, there's a link, or you can just go straight to my YouTube channel, and a fully curated video is on my YouTube channel for how to make that, okay? There's also, the link is also on this Facebook page, Heartfelt Creative with Diana. It's on there as well. And then just one more thing I wanted to remind you or let you know, in case you weren't with us last week when we did Patches and Pieces. We did the traditional Ohio Star block, but I showed you how you can take these pieces and twist them around and make different variations of that block, different designs with that block. There's a fully curated pattern, written instructions, diagrams of the variations and all on my website. It is also a free download. And in YouTube, there is a full video on how to make it, showing you the different layouts and stuff, okay? And it's the one that says Patches and Pieces Ohio Star. That's how you find that one. So I didn't want you to miss out on those free patterns and stuff if you weren't able to join us. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, so today's block, if you end up liking this block, I have a new quilt pattern coming out right in the middle, right smack dab on the 15th of May. which is, it's not going to be this actual design of this block, but it's going to be something very similar in how it's put together and how easy it is to make. The pattern will come in a couple of sizes, so you'll get all the information for what you need for the different sizes. And fully written instructions, all of that. And I will probably do a video on how to make the base square for that quilt, because it is going to be a quilt that is a multiple of the same block. Okay, but I thought if we did this today, then, and you know, maybe made one or two of them at home and you thought, oh, I like doing this idea, especially if you're a new quilter, this is a good beginner quilting block. Might give you, the new quilt pattern might give you a chance to spread your wings a little bit and try a regular size quilt in something that you feel confident in making already. If you're somebody who's been quilting for a lifetime, the quilt pattern coming out will be quick and easy, one that you can, you know, whip up fairly easily and quickly for gift, or if you just like the pattern, like the design, and have some fabrics that you love and want to show up. A lot of times when I choose quilt patterns, it's just because I have a fabric and I want to see it in a quilt. So, and I figured that pattern will go good with that fabric. Alrighty, so this is the quilt. I call it the Hopscotch block. And I'll tell you why. Let me flip the camera here so you can see the block on the table. Here we go. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. It needs to be a little bit higher. There we go. Okay, so I don't know if any of you ever did hopscotch when you were in grade school. This was a long time ago, but I loved it. And so with hopscotch, you go 1 foot on the first square, 2 feet, 1 foot, 2 feet, 1 foot, 2 feet. Okay. Then you get up at the top and you have to turn around on 1 foot and do it all the way back. I loved hopscotch when I was little and in early grade school. So I call this the hopscotch block. The nice thing about this block is that you get a diagonal pattern going this way and a diagonal pattern going that way. So you can set these blocks together and kind of make a little bit different designs. You can put them where you would have 4 of this block all together, and you'd end up with a 4 patch right in the center. So there's some different ways you can play around with setting this block, but it's super simple. It's only blocks and a couple of strips. Now, I have not done a written pattern for this. I'm going to give you the information you need. So get your pencils or your pens and your little notebooks ready to take down these measurements, okay? This block ends up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 12 and a half. 12 and a half inches. I wanted to double check that. It's very, very easy. You're going to need to cut out 2 solid blocks, 6.5 by 6.5 inches. Now, you can use a pattern and a solid like I have, or you could use 2 patterns that coordinate, or 2 solids that you like. That's completely up to you. And the quilt that I have coming out will be that way too. You'll be able to use either prints with prints, solids with solids, or a combination of both. So you're going to need 2 6.5 by 6.5 inch squares of, we're going to call this fabric A. In fabric A, you are also going to need 4 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You will also need, now we're going to be talking about fabric B. You are going to need 1 2.5 inch wide by 6.5 inch long strip. You'll need 2 of these. 1, 2. And you will need 1, 2, 3, 4 2.5 by 4.5 inch strips of fabric B. So you only need 2 fabrics with this. Let's just let's just run through it again. 2 6.5 inch by 6.5 inch blocks in fabric A, 4 2.5 by 2.5 inch blocks in fabric A, 2 2.5 by 6.5 inch strips of fabric B, and 4 2.5 by 4.5 inch strips of fabric B. Okay. The way we put this together is really very simple. We're going to make these 2 pieced blocks. And if we, since I can't sew it, I'm going to fold this up so that you can see it. There we go. So now you can see that's the block. We're going to make 2 of these. You are going to sew throughout this entire block. You want to use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So whatever you do with your sewing machine to mark your 1/4 inch, do you actually mark a line? Do you have a foot? Do you use a piece of specialty tape? Whatever you use, you want to use a 1/4 inch seam for this. So you're going to take 1 2.5 by 2.5 inch block of A and sew it to 1 2.5 by 4.5 inch strip of B. And you're going to do that for a total of 4 times, because when we look at our whole block, we have it here once, twice in that block, and once and twice in this block. So we have four of these 2.5 by 4.5 inch strip blocks or strips here when we're done. Then let me fold again. I seriously think I could have done this easier if I had sewed, but I have to see my doctor here in a little bit for treatment and all. And she tends to know when I haven't been good with my shoulder. I think it's because I scream out more when she twists everything around. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take your 6.5 by 2.5 inch strip, and you're going to sew one of the units you just made to the left and one of the units to the right. On one side, you're going to have your small block in the lower right corner, and on the other side, you're going to have it in the upper left corner. Okay. Then all we're going to do is take and sew our pieced block that we just made to one of our solid squares. That's going to give us this rectangular unit. Then when you have both of those rectangular units made, because you're going to make one for the top and one for the bottom, you're going to sew these together. And the only seam you have to worry about matching up is right here in the center. And if you have flipped and pressed all of your seams to the darker fabric, you won't have a problem with it. Okay, so that's the only one you need to line up. And then once you sew it together, you're done. I mean, seriously, I would say cutting might take more time than the sewing on this. It's a pretty easy block. So you can just hopscotch your way through it, make a bunch of them. I think, let's see, at 12 inches finished, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you went 5, if you did 30 of these and put them together, I think you could probably come up with a decent size lap sofa quilt. That's my thought with the, you would do rows of 5 and 6 rows down, and you could come up with, and then you could even add trim to it if you wanted, borders, and then backing, batting, backing, and binding, and you'd be done. That would be a pretty quilt. All righty. That is the hopscotch quilt. That's it. It was that easy. It would have taken me longer to sew it and show it to you as we went through process, because you would have had to wait for me to iron and all, but hopefully next week she's gonna let me get back to my normal. I'm only allowed 1 hour of sewing a day. Now, when you work making things and designing things, there's no way in heaven 1 hour a day of sewing is enough. If I try to get 1 hour a day in just for personal sewing, but that doesn't usually happen either. So anyway, I hope you like our little hopscotch block. for Patches and Pieces Monday, which is today. So that didn't take me very long at all. And we're technically done. You guys might decide you don't want me to go live because I ramble when we go live. You might want me just to do a video. I don't know. So I will get this posted to YouTube as well. And since it wasn't live, the whole video will go onto YouTube. Normally, all I post for Patches and Pieces on YouTube is the demonstration part, but I'll just post the whole thing today. Okay. Thank you so much, folks. Thanks for your encouragement, your support. I couldn't be here without you, and I love you all dearly. And I know that you can all spend your time sewing and doing so many things, and it is just an honor that you choose to spend a little bit of time with me. And so have a great rest of your week. I'm about to lose electric here in the neighborhood in about 20 minutes. So that's all right. I'm going to be going out to I have to go open the garage door though, so we can get the car out because I have to take it to the therapist in the doctor's office for shoulder. It's actually shoulder, neck, and back. It's an old injury, but it's really messed up now. Oh, well. Anyway, enough. It's been great to see you all today in that kind of a nebulous way we do online. Again, I appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody. Oh, go look at today's meme in Sew in Common, the Facebook group Sew in Common. The meme I put out today, it's kind of a cute one that any quilter will understand well. All right, bye guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.